you like your action fantasy films all dead-o'd up with stale plot devices, stale CGI creatures, stale dialogue, stale chemistry, and actor Kevin Bacon phoning in a villain performance you can see coming from 2 films away? We've got all that and much, much more with R.I.P.D. And before we flush it, we're going to take it out and play with it a little. Restroom Cinema. We're here to flush it, so you don't have to see it. Greetings, everyone. I am Honor Knight, your head cinematic flusher right here in the Restroom. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-cinematic flushers, Midwest movie mogul Colleen Griffin.
Hey, hey, hey.
And Raging Buddha B-movie queen, Nora Crest.
What's up?
Our special guest this time out is a returning favorite who is no stranger to our antics here in the Restroom. This versatile actress has over 150 credits to her name, including Percy Jackson, Paranormal Activity, and Starry Eyes, and at least 35 upcoming projects that are in various states of production. Please welcome back the always lovely, talented, and very busy Maria Olsen.
Why, thank you so much, and you make it sound like I'm super busy. Wow.
Well, we make everybody sound that.
Okay.
Yeah, don't get nuts.
Okay. No, all right then.
Yeah, just dial it back. Just
Way to insult your guests.
Okay.
Right out of the gate.
Every time Raging Buddha B-movie queen Nora Crest spends some time in our stall and reads the writing on the restroom wall, she's never quite the same. Let's see who turns up in this week's Raging Buddha Stats.
I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive.
This here is Josephus, and these are the stats for R.I.P.D. We had a budget of $130 million for some of the cheapest CGI of all time. It took 2 geniuses to write this movie, but that wasn't enough for them. They, along with Jeff Bridges, that's me, Josephus, and T-Bone Burnett, wrote the end credit song, which of course Jeff sings in this beautiful gravel. Ryan Reynolds did this piece of shit, so you'd forget how he fucked up the Green Lantern and love him as Deadpool. I'm Josephus, and then there's the stats.
Film should have been called either BTDT, Been There, Done That, or WDIP, Watch Deadpool instead, please.
I said discount den Deadpool.
Crest, did you come up with any acronyms that are?
I didn't, but I did watch it with my mom because she was like, well, Jeff's in it. And she has a massive, mad crush on Jeff Bridges. So she sort of sees everything he does, even if it's terrible. She said, this movie just proves that Ryan Reynolds is a great actor. And I was like, why would you say that? And she said, because I believe him in every scene.
Aww. That was what you
You're
took.
so sweet.
But
she did love him as Deadpool, though. I gotta say that.
Oh,
She
yeah.
loved him.
Yeah, he was awesome in Deadpool.
But it's like, I'm sorry, it's like dollar store Deadpool.
Yeah.
This film is what happens when you can no longer afford Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones.
Can you imagine Tommy Lee Jones in the Jeff Bridges role? I think
it's the
Jeff
same
Bridges
movie.
I know, but
hey, from what I hear,
if
if you got him liquored up enough, he could have done it.
Smith and Jones had chemistry. These two guys really don't, and that's a serious problem.
Okay, can I just put this tidbit in? I read the Variety article where they did an interview with Jeff Bridges, and he said, it was actually from GQ, and he said he had such a great time working on it.
Jeez.
And he thought it was going to be great, and then he saw the way they cut it, and he said, I was a little underwhelmed. For my mind, the studio made some choices that I wouldn't have made. So the dude does not abide by R.I.P.D.
Olsen, have you had that happen when you're doing a film and you're filming it and you think it's amazing, and then you see a cut of it and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, and I've also had a couple cases where I read the script and I went, ooh, but then I did it anyway.
Well, yeah, you're very forgiving.
I say proudly that 3 of my films have been called the worst films ever made.
Oh, really? Well, that's awesome, actually.
That's like a badge of honor.
Yeah, but with 150 credits in her name, you can easily.
But were they called that by like critics or by people?
Both.
Pretty much everyone. Yeah.
Honestly, also it'd be a problem if you only made 5 movies and 3 of them were shit. So then I would. Yeah. With 150 films under your belt, I think you can kind of gauge yet. Just like Mr. Jeff Bridges here. He doesn't care.
I just-
If you ever wanted to see a special effects budget burn up on screen, this is your film, guys.
Oh my god.
Man, the money you see it just burning right
Well,
up, guys.
it's
it was
$130 million.
bad. It wasn't
Yeah,
even good CG.
No,
It was
so we'll
bad.
talk
Oh
about
my
that. Some CG,
goodness.
yeah, it's
And
even,
the
yeah. When
opening
Olsen's saying
scene
this,
is a gigantic
Yeah.
fat guy who's like a ninja ballet
yeah, I
dancer.
know. It's,
Oh no! You know what? I said I'm gonna be very disappointed if this guy doesn't say Hodor at some point.
Ah,
I thought Ghostbusters fans should be more upset over this lame flick than the female reboot coming up here.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think-
I
oh,
actually
yeah,
said-
but
oh, go ahead.
it doesn't say it's Ghostbusters.
No, that's true, but there's a lot of Ghostbusters in this. I mean, a lot. The ending is specifically is all Ghostbusters. But
Yeah,
But I-
a
true.
major city with something happening with the hole opening in the
They
sky.
didn't have Gozar.
Yeah, you're right.
There's no Zool.
Yeah, there's no Marshmallow Man either. Which is,
Yeah.
yeah, I
There's
get that.
no Sigourney Weaver.
Oh,
I know.
Ooh, that's
So
right,
if
yeah.
she would have popped up, then we
Ah,
would have been like, what?
Look what Maria zones in on.
I'm sorry.
Only sponsor, yeah, she's gonna pick Zacco. Well, yeah, that's a good one to
She
zone
was
in on.
hot as hell in that
She
movie.
was super hot in that. She was super duper. You think you've had a bad day? Opening Ryan Reynolds' narration will only inspire you to stop this film and go watch Deadpool again.
And I said, so
Nice.
basically,
Ah.
this is a terrible Men in Black, but with Ryan Reynolds' narration.
But here's the thing: the film was too lazy to even bother following through on that narration because it's all
Right.
in the opening. That's it. It doesn't. There's no narration. I don't think for the rest of the movie. Am I correct?
Right? No, yeah.
Then why have it?
I'm telling you, I
But-
think they were going to go in a totally other direction. If you look at the trailers, you can see, and they probably got a bad reaction from the initial test screens and then recut it, and then it was still trash. So,
Well, and you know,
Yeah.
and that actually backs up what Jeff Bridges said about how I thought it was going to be this other thing, and then I watched it, and it wasn't.
The $130 million budget must have run out long before they had to CGI this fat guy, right, Crest? 1 minute.
Oh, God.
See, like
the
if you're gonna-
CGI in this film is
Woo.
so terrible. It's like,
Sure, I actually thought
Oh.
about Charles Barkley when watching
didn't you?
it.
It's not even just the CGI that makes the film bad. I think the lack of chemistry that you were seeing between Bridges and Reynolds really comes down to terrible dialogue. And again, this is like, I mean, it's similar terrible dialogue to the last movie we just talked about
I know.
with Thomas Jane and John Cusack. You can't invent chemistry between people, but at least if you give them like logical things to talk about, then there's going to be something. But they were relying so hard on the CGI tricks
Ugh.
in the
Right.
film rather than having them, like, I could see these two characters actually having a rapport and bouncing off each other, but it was so stale, like the things they were saying, and it was like they were trying so hard for jokes.
Olsen, have you dealt a lot with with CGI creatures and green screen stuff? How much of a hassle is it?
Working green screen can be very much of a hassle. In fact, there was one film that was shot entirely green screen, a feature film, and that has since disappeared entirely from IMDb. Since
What
I
film was that?
Hey, what the hell was
Um,
that?
San Francisco 2177 that
Oh,
I
boy.
shot with Dominique Swain some years back.
Oh man.
Oh
um,
wow.
Yeah, no one that I can speak to has ever given me an answer on what the hell happened to it.
Was it
you
that
know,
bad that it just they had to
no.
just like make it go away?
I don't know. It was a good script. Dominique is awesome as usual. We had some good names in it, but it just never happened. But you know, shooting on green screen and keeping everything as it should be so that it actually works out when you add in the animation or whatever you're putting in is very, very difficult. Doing one sequence, fine, but doing an entire movie, I could see that possibly coming apart at the seams if you don't have the budget to back it up.
Here they had $130 million and
It's-
it's still coming
you're right,
apart at the
it's- I
seams.
know,
you
it's
know?
not-
And
It's-
they spent it all on Indian food.
Is it crafty? Is it the craft services table? You think? this is like?
Obviously.
Yeah,
yes.
obvious, and
Yes.
the above line, the A line budget, which I think ran for Reynolds and Bridges mostly, right?
Bridges,
And,
yeah.
and what's her
They
name?
had
Meredith Park.
to.
Yeah. The Rest in Peace Department, as if you were too dumb to figure out what R.I.P.D stood for, folks. We'll now just have Ryan Reynolds spell it out for you.
Wait. Isn't it Rhode Island Police Department?
No. No, not that one.
Damn.
You're close. You were very. It is Boston. It's close to Rhode Island, so we'll give you a half point. Thanks for playing. 3 or 4 days ago, because we all know how much screenwriters love to use flashback sequences to catch the audience up on a
3
story.
or 4 days ago.
I know.
Oh,
The whole,
it's
Why
funny.
does it matter?
I'm so tired of flashbacks. That's lazy screenwriting, is what it is.
It's the formula. You have to have something exciting happen by page 6, or
Yeah, but
else you're not going to catch someone.
it's such a crutch that they use. I'm tired of seeing it. Also, this opening sequence really isn't that exciting because we don't know what the hell is going on. Like, you just see a CGI fat guy and these guys running, and that's it. Like, if it was a whole sequence, then okay, but it's not. It's just one quick scene, for something we're going to see, halfway through the film. Lazy, guys. Ryan Reynolds buries an artifact around the 2-minute mark that looks like it was stolen from Indiana Jones's private collection. So it comes down to there's a shit ton of gold that turns up in Boston. I'm kind of amazed. Like,
it looked like Aztec gold.
It is. We'll find out later what it is. But at the time, I don't understand. Like, well, we're gonna ask. The major question is how all these pieces ended up in Boston. Boston. So he's burying gold in the backyard, and he goes into his hot French American wife. I forget her name, but good looking woman.
Well, yeah, the compulsory shot of the tank top and panties.
Yeah, well, that's standard.
Right?
That's Stephanie Zodiac.
Yeah, if you're French American or any kind of foreign actress, you got to have a tank top and panties. At least
just if you're any actress in an action movie, you have to have a tank top and panties.
Yeah, you notice how that shot was framed with him on the bed and like her coming in with like her panties are right there. Yeah, really cool.
Right?
I know, it's a class act on this production. I'm sure Ryan Reynolds didn't mind. Was he married at the time?
He was married at the time because this is in 2013.
Who was it?
Yeah, this was right when he was getting married to Blake Lively.
Oh, okay, it was Blake Lively.
Because they met on Green Lantern.
I'll take care of everything. Kevin Bacon continues his poor choices in projects streak by appearing in this mess as a crooked cop with a bad Boston accent. Did anybody not figure out immediately this guy was up to no good?
I wrote down Kevin Bacon, dirty cop for sure.
All
he had to do was walk into the scene with the leather jacket and the smug look on his face. I was like, okay, he's the bad guy.
Oh my gosh, I actually said, Kevin Bacon in the leather jacket is in the leather jacket. He's either playing an asshole or a badass or some combination of both.
You gotta cut loose.
I want a movie with a good Kevin Bacon where he can just say, let's dance.
Just for the whole movie, that's his only line.
He's terrible in this too, and
he can have bad cuts with gymnasts in a warehouse, like stuntman gymnasts in a warehouse.
You know what I think is sad? I think he just literally walked from the set of The Following and started filming this because it's the same character that he was doing on the TV show.
Hey, that's my grandmother's St. Christopher medal, jackass. Anyone want to take a bet that medal becomes an important plot point later on? Huh? 6-minute mark?
I thought he said it was his granddaughter's St. Christopher medal, and I was like, wow, he's a grandpa cop?
Gotta start paying attention.
Hey, in Indiana,
that's what I've heard.
We have a lot of grandfathers who look that age or younger.
And to catch everybody up on the plot, Ryan Reynolds is, of course, Boston cop, and Mr. Bacon here is his villainous partner, and they are off to nag a drug dealer. They're in on this gold thing. I should mention that the gold, the Indiana Jones thing we saw him bury in the yard with the orange tree early in the first scene ties into this because apparently they stole gold together from, I guess, a drug bust or something. I'm not even. All right, thank you. And now they're going to get the drug dealer of the drug bust.
Also, don't you love that orange tree has fully ripened fruit on it?
Yeah,
when he put it in the ground.
You can buy them like that.
Well,
and it wasn't orange. It was like some kind of persimmon apple thing.
Right? That's what I thought.
Is it Donald Trump's
an orange
color? Yeah.
Apple.
It was an orange tree, but it was the fruit on it wasn't oranges.
All of the police vehicles look like they just blew through a car wash and polished before appearing in this warehouse assault scene at the 7-minute mark. Everything, boy, those cars look really nice. They're like Transformers. It's all polished up and racing to this warehouse.
What I thought was weird was why were they doing the upward camera angle? Why would you put the camera on the ground and then put it on a track so we can all look up Ryan Reynolds' nose while he's running along the side of the
Oh, that's a tracking shot. Well, that's a Michael Bay shot. He does those low angle stuff like that. We're running. Yeah, this guy's not Michael Bay. I don't even know what else this guy has done, this director.
Well, actually, I did say this has to be one of the most run-of-the-mill scores and generic cinematography for an arguably A-list cast that I've ever heard and seen.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's all lazy and generic.
Well, it's sad. He did Red, and I love Red.
Oh, he did Red? This director did Red? Really?
Yeah, he directed Red. He directed Flight Plan. He directed the Insurgent and Allegiant films.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Probably why I didn't like Insurgent very much. Oh, man.
That explains a lot.
But I love Red, but he didn't come back for Red 2. They didn't bring him back.
But I can't let you turn that gold in. Let's get the proper line reading right. I was more shocked by the awful body CGI of Reynolds hitting the ground than I was that Bacon turned out to be an object.
Oh my God. Okay, I've seen more believable action sequences on a Saturday Night Live sketch with a fake dummy.
Yeah.
When you're creating something like that and something's falling, you have a physics application where, you can tell it that it's a body or it's a whatever, and you can control the speed at which it falls and what it bangs into. And they just I think they just hit the turbo button. And just,
You know what he looked like? He looked like Wile E. Coyote falling off a cliff.
But he lands on his neck and immediately snaps his body down. That's not how a body would land.
No.
If he fell straight on his
But
head.
and he falls flat. His head hits and then he falls over
Also,
like a toy soldier.
And apparently Kevin Bacon shot his face off. So why was his face
Yeah,
tagged?
I know.
Right.
They Reynolds should have put up one of those signs like the Coyote had saying,
That's what I'm saying.
or something. Yeah,
I didn't see him floating out of his body,
yeah.
just standing up that didn't make sense to me. If you're not your body,
Right.
according to this thing, and you're getting sucked up into the soul vortex or whatever, the big Hoover vacuum in the sky.
The big nipple in the sky.
Oh, is it a nipple?
No, didn't it initially look like a nipple?
All right,
A little bit.
somebody was in a good mood. Ryan Reynolds' trip into the afterlife would have
I've
had
had a long week, okay?
Yeah, you've had a long week. Would have had more impact if it wasn't spoiled by the opening narration chase scene, 10-minute mark. That's the biggest problem I had. I wish it was more of a surprise. If we didn't have that opening thing already tipping our hat that he was already dead, when he died and got back up, even though he should have floated out of his body, we get it. I thought it would have been more interesting, and then sucked on the nipple in the sky as he into the after.
No, like Kenny. Remember when Kenny in the South Park?
It is Kenny. But all that CGI was really bad too, of him floating on the wire work.
Well, and then he went through the vortex, and it was like a cloud formation that looked like Edward James Olmos's face.
Tough day, huh? Mary Louise Parker trades in her pot-growing operation to appear here as a younger version of the Sylvia Sidney character.
It was almost Jodie Foster for that part.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It's a terribly written character, I should say.
Well, she's a serious professional because she's got blunt bangs.
And she's drinking a Fresca.
She turns up here, like I said, as the Sylvia Sidney character from Beetlejuice. If you don't know who that is, just go watch Beetlejuice.
But see, they should have just fully gone there and had the handbook for the dead on the table.
It was a marginally less cartoonish version of the Beetlejuice waiting room in the afterlife.
It is. And that's
right
into the MIB territory where she says you can take your chances with judgment. He's got an option of just going straight to heaven to get judged, or you can join the R.I.P.D, which we mentioned is Rest in Peace Department, not to be confused with MIB, which deals with aliens instead of dead people.
I feel like they just combined the leftover sets of Men in Black and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yeah, whatever was laying around at the studio. We're just slap it together. There's a lot of production design in this film. Unfortunately, none of it's interesting. None of it's interesting to look at or how it functions. There's a lot of ground laying of mythology on this that just doesn't work because it's just all set dressing. It's just all background nonsense.
Well, and then when they walk through the offices, it looks like the uniform factory and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. How much?
It's just so derivative.
This would have been a big studio, right? This is a big set, right? At least the headquarters, right? The main workroom. That's a set.
But half of that is CGI.
Also, you worked on a set that big where you have a huge set like that, and then it's upwards of CGI after that, or green screen past a certain 12-foot mark or whatever.
Well, all sets stop at a certain mark. They don't really go up unless you're shooting on location, in a house or in a building or something like that. No matter how big the set is, how big the production is, if you're shooting in a soundstage, they stop at a certain height. What I do remember, though, when I was shooting Percy Jackson at the scenes in the Metropolitan Museum, that was just the Smithsonian Museum from the Night at the Museum films.
It's the same, really? Oh.
Same, just redressed to look like the Met.
There you go, folks. There's your bit of trivia, huh? You don't get that in any other podcast. You get it right here on Restroom Cinema. Yeah. I'm learning shit.
See, now we're educational. They got to start playing us in schools. The more you know.
This is Holding. We call them deados. That's not a cereal, guys. But how long do you think they spent in the writer's room to come up with that stupid fucking name? Take it as your drinking game, folks. Take a drink every time you hear the word deado.
Deados.
So lazy. It's so lazy, guys.
Worst cereal ever.
What? He was going for the door. Was Jeff Bridges appearing in another film about Wild Bill Hickox when he wandered onto this set and they decided to keep his look? 16-minute mark. What the hell is he doing?
I put in my notes, if Jeff Bridges was high during this entire production, I so don't blame him.
He must have been. This is a really bad choice for him. First of all, you can't understand anything come out of his mouth.
He said he thought it was going to be, he didn't really understand it, but he was like,
well, why would he?
Hey,
but
whatever,
can I just say something? Since Crazy Heart, in 2009. He's been doing that like underbite, and then he did it again in True Grit, which was 2010.
Yep.
And then he just sort of like hung on to the hair and the facial hair and shit. He probably just trimmed it up for the little goatee thing. And he's doing it again in R.I.P.D.
Yeah, but here, like, at this point, he sounds like a cowboy who just had a root canal.
I said Bridges looks like he's next in line to appear as the Colonel in one of those KFC ads.
Oh, God. Don't.
After George Hamilton.
Don't put it out into the universe.
And after him, it's going to be Maria Olsen as the Colonel. Like,
Oh.
keep people to do it. It's extra crispy chicken.
It's a technique that he keeps doing, and it's gross.
But
And
it's
he
not
just makes them
funny
ugly.
or interesting, right? And it does. And also, here's the real key thing, guys. If Bridges plays a lawman, why is he stationed in the Boston R.I.P.D. department? Why not somewhere out west? Why is he even in this?
Because they couldn't get anybody who could do a Boston accent, and this is an excuse.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to say there were no lawmen in Boston in the 1800s?
No, I'm saying no. He was a cowboy. He said himself he was a lawman. He said he also talks about being out west and got eaten by coyotes. They didn't have too many coyotes in Boston in 1800s.
Oh, well, no, the
You don't know if
coyotes.
they had coyotes.
I do know they did not have any coyotes.
Spoiler alert: the coyotes skull fucked him.
Oh Jesus! Oh, all right. Well,
Hey, hey.
well, somebody went there.
They went there. They just didn't say it explicitly.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they had to keep their rating down. They
It's a-
couldn't
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, this would have been so much better if it was R-rated.
It was a terrible choice by Bridges, I think. I don't even know if it was his choice or if it was written.
He admitted it, though. I'm not gonna shit on him for this because he knows, like,
We're not shitting on him for the movie. We're shitting on him for the terrible. Like, I'm gonna
That's
go.
not him.
Yeah.
His choice. I think this was. I think when he got in the meeting, he should.
If he was high.
I thought he was all about girl power in the movie because, he appears as the hot chick.
Yeah.
and-
With the
We'll talk-
worst,
Yeah, it's coming up.
with the most ridiculous breast implants ever.
Olsen, how many productions did you have to grin and bear it? The same-
How do you know,
what?
how you know those were
How
breast-
many productions have you done that you've had to grin and bear it?
Oh, I heard grin and bear it as a pun, and then you were talking about
Oh,
breast
literally,
implants, and I was like, what now?
No, Maria's in a whole nother movie and a whole nother. Come back to our show. Come on back. I was just asking, like, how many productions, like, where you've been in this situation where, you're stuck and the best thing you can do is just.
Sit in the corner and read your book.
There you
Quite
go.
a few.
Okay. All right, quite a few. All right, there you go.
Yes,
Folks,
yes.
when in doubt, just sit in the corner and read your book.
I'm
Exactly.
gonna just say
Keep
Oh,
that
them
I
out.
don't.
you know what? That's actually what. Remember Jamie
Jamie
Noel?
Wait, Jamie Noel.
That's exactly what she said she did
That's right.
on shitty productions.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was reading books on like astrophysics to like
Ah,
get herself away from it.
That's true. So there you go. That's the key to it, folks. You're in a bad film. Or just in a troubled production. I wouldn't even say that. Just read a book.
mm-hmm.
Really? An old Chinese guy? I suppose if you have to take on the look of an elderly Chinese man, there are far worse choices than veteran actor James Hong. 21
Actually,
Men
this
Apart.
aspect of the movie pissed me off
I thought it was a terrible.
so much because it ripped off one of the most underrated series of the early aughts. It was on Showtime before Showtime was a big deal with their original series called Dead Like Me.
I love that
Mhm.
show.
It was the best show ever. And that's what their deal was.
Right.
They came back, but they didn't look like themselves.
That's the same thing, and it's ripped off from that. Okay,
Yes.
well, it's lifted.
And
up.
That made me I was like,
Also, that concept actually comes to us from the films Heaven Can Wait, and there were
Yes.
at least two versions of that.
You're absolutely. It's a bad choice. Let me recap, everybody. Jeff Bridges, we're talking about as a cowboy, is partnered up with Ryan Reynolds. He accepts a job, and it's a 100-year gig. He has to be a lawman to reel in souls that have escaped heaven or hell or on earth to bring them back, and he accepts the gig. He's paired up with Jeff Bridges, doesn't want a partner. He's the Dirty Harry of the deal. And now when they go down to earth, apparently they can't appear as they were when they died because they freak everybody out. So they take on what they call avatars. And the avatar, and Ryan Reynolds' avatar, he gets paired up with James Hong, which, like I said, there are worse choices.
and they never explain where these avatars come from.
No,
because
Jeff Bridges
what-
just mentions it's from the inventory.
Okay, you won. Did anyone find it funny that Bridges' avatar is a hot supermodel and Reynolds gets James Hong? Anyone?
Oh,
think
so
that-
he gets to get whistled, catcalled, and like.
I don't
what's
think that would. Their avatars are about as obvious as like Rachel Dreck being paired up with Little John. Like they really stand out. Like we would never see these two people together. I mean,
Yeah, they're conspicuous as hell.
yeah, exactly. And they're supposed to be.
But his avatar works because everyone wants to talk to her. So it's
Yeah,
great.
but also they would think it's weird that she's with this like
Right.
Chinese man.
They're not even paying attention. She could be with the
sassy-
abominable
sassy-
snowman, and no one's gonna notice who she's with.
That lady is actually a supermodel. I forget her damn name.
She is Marissa Miller.
She's not a very good actress.
Sports Illustrated, like.
Oh,
She wasn't given anything to do except for stand there and stick her tits out.
Well,
So she did a great job.
neither of them were. Even James
The-
Hong didn't get anything to do. And he has two, like maybe
And
two.
that's what I'm saying. He just stood there looking like an old fuddy-duddy.
I
I mean,
know.
he literally just made old man face.
Yeah,
It
but the
was
guy's
like-
a veteran actor. I can't believe you have a guy like James Hong on there. You only give him. You could have got anybody.
No, I guarantee you, in the original, or at least when they were filming, he probably had way more to say, and that might have been why Jeff Bridges liked it. It's because he actually had interactions with him.
Actually, it's an interesting segue into how this film treats women. I mean, we've either got the bitch from hell, probably literally, or we've got the mopey wife who like runs circles in the athletics sort of field,
Right.
or we've got the supermodel who just stands there and, as you say, sticks her tits out. I mean, like, wait. And we have Ryan Reynolds on his white charger going off and saving the world. I mean, come on.
For the most part, they treat women like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, but it's just 24. What is this? 2014, 2013. So
Yeah, and they are still doing it in so many other movies.
Yeah, but not as much now. I think.
No, they.
I
no,
mean,
they
all
really
right.
still are.
Really?
Really? You want to do the Seth
No.
Meyers? Really?
Yeah,
Really?
we do.
There's
No, we're gonna do
could
the
look at
Dora
almost-
and Colleen really.
All right, well, you guys can do. All right, that's a whole
You could,
separate
I mean,
podcast.
honestly, you could go through the list of movies that's out this week, and there's still that totally, objectified woman, whiny,
After-
whatever
after-
role.
I'm just saying, like I said, you wouldn't see them paired up together, but okay. Gotta get comfortable with the visuals and the smell profiles, even if it is obvious CGI. Here's my biggest question, guys. Could the budget not afford any practical makeup? 29-minute mark. All of these guys, when they turn into it's all CGI. Wouldn't this been better, at least marginally better, if it was practical? Nora. Olsen, you deal with the practical makeup pretty much almost a lot of your productions. It's always a better way to go, right?
Absolutely. Everyone I've spoken to, and I do mean everyone, prefers actual practical effects to CGI.
Wow.
Not only does it look better, it just gives a production a better feel.
Now, is that industry people you're talking about, or just like everyone, like industry, non-industry, the people you've encountered?
Both, actually.
So a
Industry
lot of
and
industry.
fans, especially in horror. They were like, what is this like CGI shit that we can see?
Well, I know a lot of horror fans are very practical, but I think here would have benefited the film because Beetlejuice was all practical. I mean, granted,
Right.
but it
There's
holds
a
up
bit
very
of
well.
CGI in there, but
Yeah,
not
but
as much
not
as
as
there is
much.
now.
Well, Honor, why do you think people love The Force Awakens so much more than the prequels? Was because they went back to practical
Yeah,
effects for
I
half
agree.
of it.
I'm prejudiced in this area because it's partially my business to do that, but I prefer both. I like it when you see something and you don't go, "Oh, that's CGI." Taking the Force Awakens example, half of BB-8 rolling around was CGI and the other half was an actual robot rolling around. And it was so seamless, you didn't know which part was him and which part was CGI.
Yeah, but
So-
here it's so slanted towards the CGI.
No. And it's so
Throws you right out of
funny.
the movie, but that's what I'm saying. If like 2/3 of this was practical, it might have played better.
Well,
might-
and
Yeah.
to Nora's point, like if you balance out the CG and the practical, you forget about it being CG. Like Maz Kanata, going back to The Force Awakens, you started to forget after a while that this is entirely
That's just 'cause it
computer
was
generated.
Lupita Nyong'o. I'm just gonna
Well,
say.
no, but you also had tons. She was surrounded by practical effects.
Yeah.
And that helped make her more believable.
Relax your body. Jeff Bridges riding Ryan Reynolds to the ground. Wow, a la Dr. Strangelove is an insult
I
to that
know.
film.
Oh my God,
and
that was the
film in
biggest
general.
regret.
31-minute mark. What? Come on. Like, do we have to directly rip? Like, seriously, Dr. Strangelove, don't touch great films in your shitty film. Your $130 million tax write-off. What a waste of money. God.
Think of all the films we could have made.
Yeah, exactly. Maria, some of your budgets are what? A lot lower than 130. You could have done a lot of films on $130 million, right?
I could have done a lot of films at 130,000.
Yeah, even less than that.
Oh yeah.
$130 she could have made.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No. What's your baseline budget, Olsen, for like some of your stuff?
Let me just tell you that one of our films, the first one I co-produced, Live in Fear, now known as Consumption, was made on a $5,000 budget. It has been
Wow.
winning awards in like almost every festival it's been in. Is coming out through Wild Eye Releasing at the end of this month, and everyone loves it. It's got a
Ooh.
76% or something like that on IMDb.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
And look at that was, wait, what, 5 you said? 5,000?
that was 5,000.
It's not, sometimes it's not about the money, folks. It's how you use
Where did you guys shoot that at?
We shot that up in Utah. Most of the scenes are in a condo that belonged to our director's grandparents, actually. But the rest of it is like out and about up a mountain in Utah.
There you go.
Wow.
All right, see that, guys? We got the real deal here on the show on occasion.
Absolutely.
We're not always blowing smoke out of our back ends.
I'm sure you guys went totally practical effects for this.
Oh, yeah,
production.
absolutely.
It just shows that when you have talent and, good stuff you can put out there, the money isn't the whole object of it.
Yeah.
Stop talking. We can only wish Jeff Bridges would shut up so we didn't have to hear his awful accent. He talks a lot in this film. There's a lot of dialogue between him and Ryan Reynolds, similar to John Cusack and Thomas Jane in that shitty film that we flushed last week called Drive Hard. They talk endlessly about, and it's just on and on and on and on. It's nothing
Mostly
interesting,
It's just him
funny.
talking about how he died.
Yeah, who cares? It just doesn't.
Oh, yeah, that scene.
Yeah, well, it's scenes, Maria. It's not just a scene. It's the first third of the film, he's talking nonstop, and then he
Right.
finally shuts up for about 10 minutes. And then but the problem is you can't understand half the dialogue anyway. He's got shit in his mouth. I mean, you don't even know what the hell he's talking about. Then there's
He
a
reminded
coyote.
me of Weird Al Yankovic when he did the parody of Nirvana's,
Oh, absolutely.
Smells Like Teen Spirit, and he's got the marbles in his mouth and they're
so-
falling out.
We didn't really write an end to this scene, so let's just throw CGI Bridges into a city bus and hope it'll be funny because they're chasing. Who the hell are they chasing in this scene? I don't remember. They're chasing somebody.
I'm not
They're
sure.
chasing
I don't remember.
Oh.
No, they were going.
Oh, they end up shooting him. It was the guy that tore his arm off in the handcuffs.
Oh,
It
that's
was,
right.
it was his first assignment. So they go to the guy, and that's when he's eating the Indian food. He's like, they don't like the Indian food.
Oh yeah. It was Teabag from Prison Break,
Yeah,
and they put him in basically the Tony Shalhoub role from
MIB.
Men in Black, but instead of shooting his head off, they ripped his arm off.
No, he ripped his
Right.
arm.
It was
Or
basically,
he ripped his arm
But
off.
it didn't
yeah.
grow back, though. That was like the sad
Yeah.
part.
that's Reynolds' first gig as a cop. And he blows it basically. So when Jeff Bridges is running his mouth, giving him grades, and he gets back to base, he says, "New grade F." Rotten Tomatoes would agree with you guys. 13% on the tomato meter. Total F. This is why we lock it up in here. Do you think that gold would become an important plot point later on, 34-minute mark? Because they find they with this guy, this Tony Shalhoub wannabe.
He throws it up.
Yeah, he throws up a bunch of gold at the end of the same goal, which is the artifact Indiana Jones thing we mentioned in the beginning. Do you think this is all going to add up to something? Well, I don't know.
But what doesn't make any sense is all this gold is like these little shards. And then somehow, at the end, it's all these big, huge pieces that are like perfect.
I know.
No, the
Right?
Where all the
tangram.
fucking
It was
little
no, it
shards
was like
go.
Yeah.
it was a gold tangram.
It's a very, very big jigsaw puzzle. Very expensive one, too.
The movie has so many continuity problems. First,
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Bridges, they get into the bathroom that somehow transports them into the real world.
Yeah, that doesn't make any
What
sense
the-
either.
That doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. It wasn't one of the funniest lines in the movie, though. He's like, God, you think you should, make this less conspicuous? And Jeff Bridges says, well, when was the last time you got a VCR repaired?
Yeah, that's
And the guy
fine.
at the
I thought that
VCR
was all right.
repair shop just looks like dead. But then Jeff Bridges says, get in. You don't see Ryan Reynolds get in the car. And then all of a sudden, he's on the top of a hill staring down at his own funeral.
Yeah, wow.
That
That
made me
part where he
mad.
goes down to like talk to her, and then everyone's like,
That's
"Why
an-
is this crazy Chinese guy?" That scene could have been better if you just saw James Hwang doing the scene.
It was.
I agree with that.
It was David
Hmm.
Spade and Adam Sandler in the do-over.
Well, there's a lot.
It was the do-over.
There's yeah, and that's it. That comes down to an editing thing. That's
But honestly, it's like that scene should have been James Hwang right there doing.
there should have been more James Wong in that supermodel in this. I agree with you. They cut that aspect down way down, so to the point where you didn't even really need it. Like I don't understand why we had to see it.
Filmed that, and then they looked, and test audience were like,
Oh, I hated it.
we want to see Ryan Reynolds.
Look sharp. We got one. Could this Deado be any more obvious in that 70s suit and the sideburns? He looks like he just stepped out of a Scorsese production at the 46-minute mark. Because they're tracking the guy who has more gold, I think, right? And they're following this guy.
He was actually the fence.
Right.
with bacon. But I looked at him and I was like, how do I know that guy? How do I know that guy? And then I was like, oh my God. That is Buzz from Home Alone.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Wow, you're
The
pulling.
whole time I just kept thinking, Buzz, your girlfriend, Wolf.
Oh, that's right. All right, you're good. You're really good. All right, I want to
He
go.
should
All
have been taken out by the South Bend Shovel Slayer.
right. Hey, Sideburns, tell us about the gold. James Hong finally gets to utter a line of dialogue after only 47 minutes into the film. Boy, this production was generous. That's just one of 2 lines. You gotta remember, folks, James Hong is a veteran actor, best known probably for the villain in Big Trouble in Little China. Sweet guy. The guy's had a long history. He's completely. They could have got anybody for that, though. I don't understand why they had to waste his time. Because he hasn't given anything to do. That's my biggest
Well,
thing.
maybe that's why he took the role.
No, but no, why? Because they could have got somebody cheaper. You know, James Hong comes with a price tag. You gotta pay.
So he
Yeah.
got a price tag for not doing anything.
I don't
Sweet
know.
thing.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it. I don't know. Let's do this. Shitty musical track will now play over this lame CGI chase scene through greater downtown Boston. This is the fat guy running, guys. Guess we now know where the budget didn't go. 48-minute mark.
I know he's supposed to look grotesque. That's
Right.
like the whole point when these people are in their true form. They're super grotesque.
Well, he gets fatter. Yeah.
I mean, he just got. It was like,
But it's bad CGI and bad physics.
And butt
Look
crack.
real.
Butt
I
crack.
know
Well,
why.
Hilarious.
Well, you gotta have butt crack. Butt crack's always fun.
Yeah, because that's hilarious.
But I love how the cumin somehow activates them from blowing their cover. Like, what is it
that
about
doesn't-
cumin?
Is it cumin or pepper?
No, it's
No, it's
cumin.
human.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds has the cumin out and he's like shaking it in front of him, and then the guy's like, "Oh fuck it, I'm just gonna like snort this here real quick and change into my true self," you know. And then
Right.
Elevator gag around the 51-minute mark makes no sense, guys. Elevators don't fly upwards when you cut the cables, much less gain speed. Anybody got
Also,
that?
there's a gigantic.
Yes,
fat
I got
guy
that.
in it.
You got
How
that.
did it like gain speed from?
Right, it doesn't gain speed. No, Ryan Reynolds gets trapped. There's a huge chase scene with that shitty pop song, and I'm tired of seeing that on soundtrack. And I don't even know who that band is or what the song is. It was terrible. That's all I remember.
What, the Kaneki wife bitches?
Was that that?
Oh dear God.
No.
No, I love her. It's
It
Robin.
wasn't that. No, it wasn't. That was a guy
Okay.
singing.
Oh, no, okay. It was
Guy
a different
singing.
one.
Anyway, so Reynolds has to jump in the elevator to get to the top of the building, and it shoots up. It does. Elevators don't do that, but all right, we're gonna let it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Just gotta roll with it. An incredibly dangerous artifact known as, here we go, guys, the Staff of Jericho. Geez, what are the odds that all these gold chunks would mean something? Screenwriting autopilot, guys. 53 minutes and 30-second mark. I don't know why I wrote the seconds on that one, but yeah, that's what it comes down to. All this gold that they've been collecting, and which has been around for what, 3,000 years or 5,000 years, has somehow managed to get to Boston. In America. And yeah, it's not even like a National Treasure movie where Nicolas Cage, globe hops, or a Tomb Raider film. No, everything just ends up here we don't even know
It's
how
just
it got
something
here.
that's made up. Like, why couldn't they use the Ark of the Covenant or something that's like,
right.
Right, but it's,
Right.
the worst part is it's called the
That was
Staff of
huge.
Jericho, but when they assemble it, it doesn't look nothing like a staff.
it's an
I know, right?
obelisk.
Oh,
It's an
yeah.
obelisk.
And I thought
The
it's
obelisk
Egyptian.
of Jericho.
No, stop. It's
Let's be
like an
architecturally
Egyptian.
specific here.
All
Children are watching this, and then they're going to look at obelisks and think that's a staff.
The Mummy was more historically accurate.
It was.
Oh, don't start me on that one.
Oh, Olsen didn't like the Mummy, apparently.
And by the way, Honor was complaining about Konnichiwa bitches.
Oh, was it?
The song that you.
I'm
Also-
sorry. I like her new stuff.
I like Robin, so
All right.
Me too.
It's me. I haven't left you. We weren't going to give it enough screen time establishing Reynolds and his wife's relationship for us to care about it later in the film. 57-minute mark. He keeps wanting to find his wife. He sees her at the funeral, and then he finds she's jogging on some track.
Well, don't forget, they just got fired. They just
yeah,
got taken off the case.
I should say,
And they're going to be dissolved tomorrow. They're
I
basically
know.
being erased from the
Right.
universe.
We
It's
should
kind of a big deal.
But it doesn't matter like how supernatural or at what level of supernatural law enforcement or real world law enforcement. The same cliche, you're suspended.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
From the case you know the most about.
yeah.
we should
suspended.
mention the fat Elvis guy, the CGI guy gets away after the elevator thing.
Buzz.
He gets away, and they get called on the carpet, as you've seen in every other cop movie, no matter what the genre is, and they get suspended, which is really stupid. Because why is the afterlife operating on the same rules as the Earth? It doesn't make any sense. Like, they can operate on any rules. They can go back in time. The rules of the afterlife are never really properly set up. They're just
They
set
go
up
back
here.
in time now?
Because it's just you're dead.
Why are they giving a 100-year sentence when in the afterlife time has no meaning?
Yeah,
Like,
but they don't have like a.
Yeah.
They can't go back in time. They don't have like
Yeah,
an.
they can.
They don't have like a celestial like DeLorean that they can go back in time.
There's no time though when you get to the afterlife, guys. There's no time. It's just there's no linear time. So giving them a 100-year sentence to a 100-year service doesn't make it has no meaning.
But they are serving in linear time because they are catching these people in real time in the
They're
same
down
time
on
that's
Earth.
going in it's going in the same time.
Getting super nerdy, Chris.
We are debating
No.
the existential logic.
Oh, Olsen's gonna back
Hold
her.
on. Very first line of the film, about 3 or 4 days ago.
It's no sense if he's dead, Olsen. It makes no sense if he's dead.
3 or 4.
I don't.
3
All
or 4.
right.
So they're operating in linear time, in other words.
All right, Bill and Ted. All right, dial it back.
No, Bill and Ted.
But can I
actually
just say
had
something?
more of a-
This movie was written by the genius team here that brought us Ride Along and Ride Along 2.
Oh, really?
And Clash of the Titans.
Oh, the remake?
And the Tuxedo. Okay, so like this is not.
All right,
Yeah,
these
these-
guys are terrible. All right.
Yeah.
Unless he has some kind of artifact that can mask it. And now we have our St. Christopher medal callback from earlier, one-on-one mark. In case you aren't wondering, folks, the obvious villain, Kevin Bacon, turns out to be a deado, but he's hidden because now, conveniently, lazy other screenwriting. Well, again, like I said, why didn't any of the other deados have this masking trinkets? Apparently, if you're wearing some kind of trinket, it hides the fact that you're dead. Otherwise,
And the things don't get destroyed around you
Right,
and stuff, 'cause
right,
that's
right.
a sign that you're near a deado.
But the film plays fast and loose with its own rules. That's the problem. It's like all of a sudden, conveniently now, we have this medal that was able to hide Kevin Bacon from everybody knowing he's dead throughout the entire film. And working with this guy for 5 years. How long has this guy been dead? We didn't never find out.
No, you do find out. He says to him, "You remember when I got shot up by that whatever,
Oh,
and I was in the hospital and everybody thought I was gonna die?" He's like, "Just kidding, like I wasn't gonna go out like that." That was his whole thing. So he hasn't actually even been dead that long.
I was doing something important like taking a crap while that scene was on.
Scrolling through
I
Facebook.
kind of miss it. Yeah, I was going through Facebook.
That's why you have me for the major plot points.
I was trying to book Olsen for the show.
I want to know, like, in Jeff Bridges' contracts from now on, is there like a clause that says he has to be allowed to sing?
He's got to stop that shit.
No, but
I love
can I
him,
say
and
something
he's not a
sad?
bad singer, but
But first of all, he sings that song in the thing, but he actually sings a song over the credits that was written by, the lyrics were written by Jeff, T-Bone Burnett,
Oh, Jesus.
and then the writers of the film and the director.
Really? 5?
Yes.
Come on.
too many cooks.
I don't know what happened to T-Bone Burnett, but he lost his damn mind.
Yeah, he did.
R.I.P.D. is not going to know what hit them. Why would you kill your partner when you know there's a chance he'd come back looking for you? Maybe want to tackle that? Kevin Bacon kills Ryan Reynolds, and he's dead, knowing there's a chance that Ryan Reynolds, being a great cop that he was, would get recruited by the R.I.P.D. and then come back to Earth looking for
His whole vendetta was against the R.I.P.D. and I think he thought Ryan Reynolds was just like
No, Ryan Reynolds
a
was
doof.
God, I don't know about that. I don't think-
His whole thing was to defeat the R.I.P.D. So why would he care if Ryan Reynolds? That would just be better for him.
Does he know Ryan Reynolds would figure it out and then come looking for him? I don't. All right, maybe I'm asking too many
Well,
questions.
no, Ryan
No,
Reynolds
that's a
dumb
good
enough to be
question.
killed
I don't know.
by his
Just-
partner.
So basically, Kevin Bacon has to assemble the staff of Jericho, and what that's going to do is open up. It's going to reverse the gates of heaven, basically. So instead of the dead going up into heaven, it'll reverse the engine, which is really stupid looking as we see CGI, and then all the dead will fall back to Earth for whatever reason. We don't really.
Well, then it's Armageddon.
And not the Bruce Willis Armageddon. Let's get that
No.
straight. It's a whole
No.
different- yeah, it's no asteroid.
That's
Oh, yeah, it's a whole different.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
No, that's Die Hard.
know,
But okay,
joking,
you want
I know,
all right,
I
you
know.
got it. I invented
Yeah.
this shit. High noon showdown line from Bridges would have been almost worked if it wasn't a better film at the hour and 11-minute mark. So basically now they have to pursue the bad guys to some rooftop to assemble the Hall of Jericho, and we have to have this high noon scene. I don't know why. There's these two ugly dead people, and Jeff
Because
Bridges.
he's a cowboy. Otherwise, his whole character is useless.
Well, it's pretty much useless throughout the film, so I don't know why we.
Well, and that's the only excuse for calling everybody partner.
I haven't seen that before. Film will now lazily drop in a Ghostbusters-style climax because we couldn't come up with something more interesting than the old wormhole to another dimension chestnut at the hour and 12-minute mark.
Yeah, the areola to another dimension.
Yeah, that's what I mismentioned, folks. Yeah. The Jericho opens up some hole in space and it reverses the engine so the dead fall back to Earth. There's a big tit in the sky. I wish I had thought about it and watched it. I would have been in a much better mood.
You know what? I think a lot more people would like believe in a higher power if it was like some great big tit in the sky.
That would be great. That's like a Monty
Oh,
Python.
wait.
Uh-oh.
That's like the flying spaghetti monster.
That would have
This
been better.
definitely a
actually.
higher power.
Awesome. You're absolutely right. There you go. Olsen with the win on that one. I'll give it to her. Well, it's a loose crowd. I need you to keep an open mind. Kevin Bacon transforms into a CGI Deado counterpart, but it still looks mostly like Kevin Bacon. Gotta cut loose!
But why is his head chopped open?
Well, because
Right?
it's gotta still look like Kevin Bacon. Like, he doesn't even transform into, like, some hideous creature. It's still Kevin Bacon with the hair, with a full head of hair.
Wait. Which looked worse, Kevin Bacon in this movie or Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse?
Oh, Oscar Isaac is Apocalypse.
Oh, come on, you
Yeah,
guys.
he looks...
No.
He looks like a giant blue
I
smurf.
part
He's a fucking idiot.
Oscar Isaac with
Folks, you can weigh in on that. Who looked worse, the blue guy?
Who
Or-
wore it worst?
Who are the
Yeah.
CGI worst? but you gotta say, no, but to be fair, Oscar Isaac's makeup was...
That was makeup.
That was practical, and
Yeah.
just Kevin Bacon here's a lot of CGI. He's got his head slashed open. And
He's
but he
basically in a green, leotard.
he is not.
For
It's
this yes, that's how they do the
my
CGI.
God.
They just put him in the green
Freaking-
thing and they put dots all over him.
Olsen, did you ever have to do that?
No, I've never done that, but I was scanned. I
what?
went through CGI scanning process
Nice.
for Percy Jackson again.
Were you naked?
No,
They put
no.
Don't you have the dots, like the suit with the
Sure.
dots or the
golf
thingies?
ball things.
You do have it, but I wasn't in it. They scanned me in my costume because I changed from being in my costume into the
right.
Fury.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, got it.
That
My
was a sweet
question
scene,
about
by the way. That was a good
Yeah,
scene.
that's so
good.
good.
Yeah.
That's just like so badass.
It's pretty badass. We gotta give Olsen credit for that. Okay.
My kids are gonna be freaking out that I was like talking to you tonight because they love that.
Oh, yeah.
I know, and all my former like teacher colleagues are gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah, Olsen brings street cred to our show. We know that. I hope they have an elevator. Wasn't this climbing the stairs to get to the villain joke directly lifted from Ghostbusters? Hour and 18-minute mark. That's what Jeff Bridges says. They have to get to the rooftop we're talking about with the stupid staff of Jericho, which is what'd you say? I don't even know what the hell. Some
It's an
Egyptian.
obelisk.
Thank you, Jesus Christ. And yeah, they do a Ghostbuster joke about because the elevator's out and he has to walk upstairs. That's Bill Murray took that.
Bill Murray also
Bill
did
Murray.
the stairs joke in What About Bob?
Oh, did he really? He repeated that. Okay, so it's
Well, because he couldn't take the elevator because of his he was a germaphobe and claustrophobic.
What now, Nick? Fist fight between two dead people. Seriously? Hour and 21-minute mark. Okay, so here's where the villain and the hero, and there's a big shootout at the top of the rooftop, and of course, Kevin Bacon and Ryan Reynolds got to have a fist fight, which doesn't make any sense. Here is the problem with the whole thing. Once they're dead, they can't be hurt unless they're shot in the head with one of those stupid bullets. For the most part, they're like super. So what's the
unless they're shot in the head with one of those guns that kind of sucks them up, just like another movie?
Yes, but my thing is, aside from that, they can't hurt each other. So them having a fist fight you have no stakes in that because they're already dead.
But see,
Oh,
that's
no,
the whole
but-
point is that they can just smack them around forever.
Yeah,
and
well,
nothing
it's
can
at
happen.
their running time.
But they explained that it hurts.
No, I don't buy that. And also, it would have been more interesting, like in Deadpool. I'm going to reference that.
Don't blame me. I'm just saying, like, that was their explanation, was that it still hurts.
It's like a cartoon. Like they just bounce back instead of having bones broken and they have to re-heal bones or arms are cut off. They have to grow back. They just bounce back up. It's all CGI.
The whole thing is
Yeah.
a Wile E. Coyote.
It is. It's a big one. Yeah.
Right.
You're better
Yeah.
off watching that. So anyway, they destroy the obelisk, or Jeff Bridges does, and Ryan Reynolds corners Kevin Bacon and got him dead to rights with the gun, and he says, I have a new partner, and he shoots him in the head, and he kills Kevin Bacon with his gotta cut loose. Unfortunately, it's Jeff Bridges' new partner.
Gotta cut him loose.
There you go. Here's the line. This really creeped me out, guys. She Billy goated me. Mary Louise Parker.
Oh, are you just gonna skip over? Are you gonna stop?
Wait,
Hang on a second. You cannot skip to the Billy goating.
All right, what do we got?
Before that, we have Ryan Reynolds' wife, who's now dead.
Oh yeah, you want
So
to
we
go
have
first?
Yeah.
everything stopped
She's
again.
not
So we're gonna
dead. She
we're gonna
lives.
have no, she's dead.
She lived.
have you
She's
never heard a
dead.
story of someone
was.
dying and then
No,
coming
she was
back
stabbed, but I thought she
she
lived.
was dead.
She was dead
Oh,
because
did
she
she die?
recognized him.
I
That's
thought she
right.
lived.
And
They have their whole ghost moment. He says goodbye to her. They get a last kiss. I mean, this
That's
is like
way too
straight out of Ghost.
yeah,
And then he
Yeah.
tells her to move on.
It did that 3D still like the Matrix. That
Yeah.
apparently that's what happens
She
when you
was
die
dead.
is that it turns into a Wachowski special effect.
It's lazy. I know.
And that's how you knew she was dead, because
all
she
right.
could.
I
wrap
thought she lived. Okay,
else.
I've lost. I was sorry. I was hung up on the big tit in the sky.
That's a key part, because then the next scene she's in the hospital and you see
You're
that
alive.
you see that Mary Louise Parker's avatar is a black doctor. This is again where they should have used the avatar gimmick that they set up that they never really used. When she billy goats Jeff Bridges, it should have been the black doctor biting the hot supermodel's chin. That would have been hilarious. Like things like that would have been great.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mary Louise Parker biting on Jeff Bridges' goatee. Maybe
I
actually thought it was the most disturbing.
No, she didn't just bite on his goatee.
creepy.
She lost her teeth.
It was creepy.
With his goatee.
That was the hour and 26-minute mark. And you're right. It would have worked better as the black doctor. You're all right, Chris, on that. I'll give you that
It would
one.
have been great. There were so many gags that they missed out on in this whole Avatar thing. And it's just disappointing. Why even have it to begin with?
I give Mary Louise Parker credit for doing that, but it's still pretty creepy, guys.
And she billy goated me. I'm sorry, but that's like something that would get you on a watch list.
Talk about two people who did not have chemistry: Mary Louise Parker and Jeff Bridges.
Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You thought this was an improvement? Ryan Reynolds' new child Avatar is not as much an improvement as the film ending at the hour and 27-minute mark was. I'm so happy because the running time said an hour and 35 minutes.
She looks like a broke-ass Amy Poehler character.
It was a dumb ending. It's a really dumb ending because it's really not an ending. They have to keep fighting crime in the afterlife, and obviously
no, it's the exact same ending as Men in Black.
You're absolutely right. It is.
They drive off in the car, but then it's like if your avatar is a child,
right,
why would you be driving?
Exactly.
You're gonna get pulled over.
There's logic questions you can ask.
Kimmy Schmidt didn't even drive when she was 30 because she only had her learning curve.
There is a lot of it's just basically Men in Black for dead people. It's lazy. The film is so lazy. The whole production is lazy, and it's a shame that a lot of talent was wasted. Thank God Reynolds.
I would love to see the script that Jeff Bridges read that he thought was good.
Yeah,
because I'd like to know what the actual story
It did
was
have a lot of good, like, from my perspective, if you look at the script as a bare bones, like, pitch, it seems like it would have a lot of potential.
Yeah, but you look at the script as, well,
no,
okay.
I mean the pitch, not the
Well,
script.
it's a lot of potential if it was
Yes,
was done practical. I think there was a lot more potential if it
No,
was
the
done
script
practical.
was garbage. I'm talking about the pitch.
The concept.
But yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
It seems
yeah.
like you would like listen to it and be like, oh, this is probably be like really good. Like Men in Black only with like ghosts and zombies.
Right.
Have you run into that, Olsen? Have you run into really good pitches that turned out to be not so great scripts?
Oh, absolutely. Not everyone who can tell a story can write a script.
Those are two different skills.
That's a very
Yes,
But at the
much
same
so.
time, it seems like at least Jeff Bridges should have known better.
I think everybody should have known better at the time. I think it's a paycheck movie for really Reynolds and Bridges and Bacon.
Yeah, but after Green
Yeah.
Lantern, I mean,
I think these guys could have got better work. And
he is so lucky he did not go into like the same drought as Affleck.
all right, there you go, folks. That is R.I.P.D. for this week. We took it out and played with it a lot longer than we should have. Can we flush it, ladies? Can we please flush it?
Flush it and extinguish the Green Lantern.
Oh,
Ah.
that's so lowballing. We're lowballing. Well, consider it low flushed. That's it. There you go, folks. That is it for this week. I want to thank my lovely co-cinematic flushers, Midwest Movie Colleen Griffin, and Raging Buddha Bee McQueen, Nora Kress. Great job, ladies, as always. Thank our very special guests, and I got to give her a wide curve here, Maria Olsen. What do you got coming up? Because I can never keep up with your state of acting talent.
I'll tell you about the ones that have been or soon to be released. In April, we saw the horror thriller feature The Conduit come out from Gravitas Ventures. And then we had Mark of the Witch from Epic Pictures. Then we have the Levenger tapes. Actually, that came out on the 5th from Lionsgate. And we have Consumption coming out on the 26th. And then I am not sure if I can say this yet or not, but I have another horror feature coming out on August 5th, and that one is going to have a limited theatrical release. It's going to be playing in about 10 or 15 different cities. Actually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
That will be cool.
All right, you got a lot of stuff coming out. Okay, folks, that's what you got to look forward to. And next coming up from Miss the Awesome Maria Olsen. Maria, thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's absolutely wonderful to have you on the show. Your old hat here pretty much for this time, but we got new listeners this year who have not heard you yet. So, and not familiar with, well, some of the, you guys should know her. If you don't know her, just IMDb her. She's got 150 credits. You guys have seen her. Trust me, you've seen her. I'm gonna point out Starry Eyes, which I thought she was excellent in. That's some of your best work there, Olsen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a great film. If you guys have not seen that, Starry Eyes, it's available on streaming. So go watch that. And we will be back next week to torture you with something else. Until then, say goodbye, ladies.
Goodbye, ladies.
Goodbye, Ricky.
Hey, this is Nora Crest, and I want to thank you for listening this week and every week as we flush these turds down our cinematic bowl here in the restroom. If you haven't already, please subscribe to us on iTunes and Google Play Music so you don't miss a single episode. You can also follow us on Twitter and use #PodernFamily, or like us on Facebook, circle us up on Google+, and check out all of our episodes at our home restroom on the net, signalsoffury.com. Until next time, remember, we're here to flush it so you don't have to see it. I'm Nora Crest, and this has been the award-winning Soiled Restroom Cinema.